This little one wants some.
Here you go.
She's more of a red wine kind of girl.
Nice steady pressure. Blow hard. Start blowing anytime.
We're throwing a party, and I'm secretly worried it's gonna ruin their deck.
All right, Victor, come on, don't f this up. I'm here to help this resort out, and I'm here to produce great food. And that's the only thing that matters. Running a restaurant in the big city is tough business. Running one in a country resort can be even tougher.
Dining should be an event, and that's where I come in. Together, we're on a mission to invade country resorts and revive the dining experience.
So that dining at a country resort is worth every bite.
And well worth the trip.
So we've just arrived at the Westwind Inn, just on the shores of the Buckhorn Lake.
The Westwind Inn is a massive property in Buckhorn, Ontario, in the Kawarthas. Inga's family has owned the inn for over 22 years, and Inga and Jamie took it over from Inga's dad and have just been running it ever since, trying to keep on top of changing clientele, changing requests.
So it's not specifically a jacuzzi room. We took over on April Fool's Day, 1991, with absolutely no background in the hospitality industry. My father decided he wanted to become Bob Newhart. So we moved to Buckhorn. I got a four-wheeler, a snowmobile, and I met my husband, so there was no turning back.
She smiles for me.
The resort caters exclusively to adults, and they're looking for me to create new dishes that draw on some of the big city food trends to attract new guests, while offering something fresh to the returning clients.
Well, we love food, so we're open to absolutely anything.
Yeah, see, the big city boy, he's got up his sleeves.
Jamie and Inga would also like to see some updates to the space. It's got that really cute country kitsch, but I'll be looking to modernize it to better suit Victor's menu and create a more sophisticated dining atmosphere.
We're always open to new and trendy ideas. That said, there is that warm, rustic aspect that I hope that she plays upon, but we're very excited.
Look at this view. I love how we're just up in the trees.
That's how we got the name. We called it Treetops Dining Room because we're right in the trees here.
It's so beautiful. So, you cater mostly to couples, not really to children.
No, we don't have a children's menu.
And the great thing about catering specifically to adults is that you can really do whatever you want on the menu, and I think we could do a lot of fun things with it, you know what I mean? People vacationing at an adults-only resort really want to enjoy the sophistication of a kids-free environment. They also want to let their hair down and have fun. And since no one has to put the kids to bed, we can really draw out the dining experience and make it an indulgence.
Okay, so we have beef tenderloin with red wine reduction and pan-fried pickerel with garlic shrimp and grilled duck breast with a cranberry glaze. I'd see our guests as they're coming here, they want a nice, comfortable stay, and they want something that's comfort food. But there's nothing wrong with improving on something that's there. And who knows, you know, we do get a lot of younger people. They're more trendy, and they want to try different trendy things.
Well, the food's delicious. The beef tenderloin, there's bacon on it. It's great. The tenderloin's great. The duck's really good. The pickerel's wonderful, and I could eat probably 30 of those garlic prawns, no problem. But if there's one thing you could possibly take away, leave the carrot, Brussels sprout, pepper, potato, get rid of it, like today. Don't do it anymore. Now just choose one vegetable that's gonna go with that and focus all of our energy on one thing.
And I think this is a huge opportunity to design your plates a little bit cleaner, a little bit more sophisticated as well. Really treat the plating like art.
I like to take away the choices for people because sometimes they always try to have the same thing. And so maybe we can do like a tasting menu, a couple courses, and you know, pair it up with a little bit of wine and you know, make it like a whole dining experience. Guests are usually reluctant to try new things. So if we remove the choices, you can offer more sophisticated items that they normally wouldn't try. Pair those dishes with some great wine, and you'll have an evening that's all about the dining experience, rather than just having dinner.
We had more trees. I have some ideas brewing. The room is filled with these neutral, gorgeous wooden tones, but they need a splash of color to really make it pop. If I start bringing in pops of blues and pops of greens and really fill the space with color, all of a sudden, the wood starts asking for attention as well.
I think we have a lot of work cut out for us, so let's
get brainstorming.
We're so excited about having their input and their ideas. It's nice to have a breath of fresh air.
So adults only, that's fun.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to do things you can't do while kids are around.
Victor.
Get your mind out of the gutter. I mean, like, have a, you know, a tasting menu, wine pairings, a couple extra cocktails, maybe.
Ooh, I love that. Ooh, and I should decorate with everything I can't do when there's kids around, like breakable everything, glass everywhere. So, first stop, winery.
Perfect.
I could always go for a wine tasting. This is so Oh, cool. That's a log cabin.
We just arrived at the Kawartha County Winery. Part of the fun with our tasting menu is that we're gonna be offering different wine pairings with each dish. I have a few dishes in mind already, and I'm hoping to find some great local wine that will pair well with each dish and really round out the dining experience.
Look at all this stuff. I was just saying I needed a big bear head. Victor, take me home.
Would you like to taste some wine? Please? Hey.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Kawartha Country Wines.
How are you?
My name's Eva, I'm the manager here. What can I help you with?
So we're doing a dinner at Westwind Inn. I would love to try to pair up a couple wines with a couple different dishes that we're doing for the event.
What sort of dishes are we looking at here?
So the first course we're gonna start off is we're having oysters.
We'd be looking at a white wine. We do have a locally grown white wine, the Buckhorn Vintage White.
When I'm eating oysters, I'd love to pair it with a dry white wine, and the Buckhorn Vintage White is really dry. I think it'll go great with the oysters. This little one wants some.
Here you go. She's more of a red wine kind of girl. So what's next?
So we're gonna be doing some pan-fried scallops.
Generally, for most seafood dishes, I recommend a plum wine. I'm gonna start with the golden plum. It's a very dry one.
This is really good, actually. I like that one quite a lot.
So the second one is a Shiro plum. It's a touch sweeter, and it's got this lovely spicy note.
This is just a little bit sweet for the dish, and the oxidative quality of the golden plum I really enjoy. It's dry, I like that. All right, so the main course is gonna be short ribs. For the short ribs, I ended up going with Cabernet Franc. It's a little bit of a lighter bodied wine, and it's got a nice peppery note to it. It's gonna go great with it.
So what are we having for dessert?
I'm thinking something pumpkin, but I'm not exactly sure what it is yet. Eva gave me two options for the dessert wine, a goldenrod wine and an iced maple wine. There's definitely nothing more Canadian than an iced maple wine, but I found it to be a little too sweet. So I'm gonna go with the goldenrod. Yeah, we'll take 5 bottles of everything.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of an odd request. Do you maybe have a dozen wine bottles that I could grab and take with me?
Certainly, yeah.
I know of this little place called Art Tech. They're supposed to do amazing things with glass. So what if I bring these wine bottles to Art Tech and see if they can make me something really gorgeous for the tables? Mission accomplished.
Keep it turning, there's the glass.
Oh my gosh! Glass blowing is insane.
Start blowing anytime. Blow hard.
We're going to an amazing little place called Art Tech, which is a glass-blown studio not too far from Westwind Inn. They're taking this age-old craft and they're really putting a modern twist on it. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How's it going?
I brought the wine bottles for our project.
I wanted to add modern touches to the dining room and marry the old with the new. So we're gonna create something cool out of these wine bottles. Upcycled art is always a hit in cottage country and gets people talking. Before I could do that, Terry and Jen wanted me to start small.
So you ready for this?
Yes, I'm very nervous.
So we're gonna feed it in, right to here, bring your hand back and turn. Keep it turning, there's the glass.
Oh my gosh!
Keep it turning, keep it turning, keep it turning, keep it turning. All right, have a seat in the bench, I'll bring it over to you. And blow. Nice steady pressure, blow hard. Start blowing anytime. Blow hard. And stop.
Pretty amazing to watch the process. It's really technical, it's super fast.
Got our track line in.
Blowing the ball and always having to be spinning the glass is pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh! Glass blowing is insane.
Relax your hand a little bit more. Look at that.
That's really gorgeous. But it's amazing.
So now it's all finished. When it comes out of the annealer, it's ready to sell. Now we high five.
Yes! I brought in these wine bottles not really sure what I was gonna do with them, and Jen came up with the idea of turning them into these beautiful decanters. I think that's a really interesting way to bring in a bit of color and glass into the room. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I'm always super excited to see what Rebecca's gonna come up with in the dining room, but she might have outdone herself. I think these upcycled wine bottles are gonna look really cool. I have to make sure the food is just as remarkable.
Using recycled glass isn't like the other glass you guys were using. This cools really, really fast, so we have to keep heating up over and over again.
I brought all of these wine bottles thinking that I was just gonna blow all of them into these beautiful sculptures or whatnot. It doesn't work like that. It takes time for them to cool properly. So we molded one of the wine bottles just to test out what we wanted to do. And thank goodness Terry and Jen are gonna take care of the rest of them.
It's pretty cool.
Oh my God, that's stunning. It's beautiful.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Great, Victor. How are you?
Okay, so I think I got a pretty good idea what we're gonna do. Since there's like no kids, it's gonna be a lot of fun to, try to push the envelope just a little bit because we don't have to worry about them. So I was thinking about starting off with oysters. Do you like oysters?
Yes, I love them.
Second thing, scallops, some roasted scallops, maybe some endive, bringing in that bitter flavor because I think as you get older, you start to appreciate the flavor of bitter food. And then maybe some short ribs. It's really cold outside, so we'll do a nice braised meat. We'll plate it really sophisticated, really nice, beautiful presentation. Maybe some mushrooms and some onions and really try to focus the idea of like what I was talking about, like maybe just a couple little things on the plate. Keep it simple. And then for dessert, we're gonna do like pumpkin and ricotta and bourbon, some fresh kind of dessert.
Okay.
What do you think?
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah?
Yes.
So how many people are gonna be here working with us today?
Just you and I.
Just you and I. Do you do this by yourself all the time?
Yes, I do.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Jesus. All right, well, let's get at it because we got a bit of work to do.
So I've been tasked with updating Westwind's dining space to match Victor's sophisticated tasting menu.
Oh, you are strong.
I think my biggest challenge with this space is that it's so quaint. There's a ton of wood and other natural elements and lots of knickknacks that Jamie and Inga have collected with their family over the years. It really overwhelmed the room without making a great visual impact. I want pieces that really come to life at night and that will be romantic but still lively and invigorating. We want to grab everyone's attention, so color will be really important.
And just season them up pretty well.
For the main course tonight, we're doing braised short ribs that have been seasoned with some salt and pepper. We're gonna sear them off in a large pan
and then braise them low and slow with garlic, onions, celery, carrots, leeks, thyme, bay leaf, chicken stock, veal stock, lots of red wine. Put it in the oven. 3 hours later, take it out, let them cool, take it out of the liquid, reduce it down, and that's what we're gonna glaze the short ribs with. While we're doing that, start making the cauliflower puree. I don't know if I'll be able to teach Brian anything. He's been cooking for, 40 years. That's longer than I've been alive. So he probably has some tricks to teach me today.
I have worked with young chefs that have creative ideas. Yeah, I can put them in their place, but that's not what I'm about. I may be able to learn something from Victor. He may learn from me.
And then, yeah, just really slow. It'll caramelize eventually.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on?
I had the best idea. What if we displayed the oysters on this beautiful, gigantic, big block of an ice bar?
Seriously?
Seriously.
That'd be pretty cool. Do you think we could, carve a luge down the center of it so we could pour the wine down and they could catch it with their wine glass?
Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
I knew you'd be on side. Here's the problem. The block of ice itself weighs about 3,000 pounds, and I'm secretly worried it's gonna ruin their deck.
That's funny. You can take care of that by yourself.
But I'm gonna take all the credit then.
That's fine, it's fine.
It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Ciao.
It's a little closer than I wanted, but having a deck collapse isn't part of my plan tonight. The Westwind Inn is a piece of heaven for adults wanting to enjoy a kid-free environment. So tonight, we're dishing up 1 part sophistication and 1 part party, with a 4-course tasting menu paired with locally sourced wine from Kawartha Country Winery. Hi, Steven.
How are you doing?
I got an ice sculptor to come in, and we've designed this amazing ice bar to sit outside. The best part is we're gonna do a luge down the center. So all of that amazing wine that we picked up from Kawartha Lakes Winery is gonna go down this luge directly into guest glasses.
I would love to have the bar itself just pressed right up against the railing, just enough room for Vic to be behind it pouring drinks.
We'd have to go down and check, make sure it can hold it first.
Because it's 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest concern with the ice bar is whether the deck can actually hold the weight. We're gonna have all of those guests plus the actual bar. It's gonna be pretty heavy.
I think maybe over here. That's the main supports for the whole deck, and it would carry a lot more weight.
Well, having a deck collapse isn't part of my plan tonight. So how much time do you think you need before we're ready to go?
Probably a few hours.
Okay, let's get started.
Let's do it.
I've done ice bars before for some of my past weddings and corporate functions. People love them. This is gonna kick off the night perfectly. People are gonna come outside, they're gonna have fresh, delicious oysters, wine that's coming down this amazing luge. Once they're out there, they're not even gonna feel the cold. It's so awesome.
So we're doing wine pairings tonight for the dinner. We're pairing oysters with a Buckhorn vintage white. The dry wine, the saltiness of the oyster, and the apple jalapeno mignonette is gonna be delicious together. After the oysters, we're gonna do a lovely scallop dish. So seared scallops, braised endive, fresh endive, cauliflower puree, and we're gonna be serving that with golden plum wine, so kind of like a soju or a Korean wine. And then after that, we're gonna try to warm people up a little bit by serving them with delicious braised short ribs, some roasted king oyster mushrooms, some pickled cipollinis, sweet paired to Cabernet Franc. You know, the wine itself, generally Cabernet Franc is very peppery, and we're gonna use a lot of black pepper in this dish, so I think it'll go well together. That's starting to taste good. This is the pumpkin custard, basically, so creme brulee. I really had no idea what I was gonna do with dessert. I knew that I wanted to do something with pumpkin, so we're gonna make like a custard out of the pumpkin. I've chosen a golden rod ice wine. It's quite sweet. I think the dessert is gonna come in just underneath the sweetness of this wine, which is great. You don't wanna have your dessert sweeter than your wine. So we're looking pretty good, but still like probably 5 or 6 things left to do. Yep. And not that much time to do it, so.
I rarely get to decorate with this much glass, so I'm using every opportunity to exploit it to the max. And I added bright, big, beautiful colored balls and tons of bright colored flowers, a sign that says delish to remind people that they're in a dining room, they're not in a living room. To provide a little bit more color to the walls themselves, I put up these green panels right smack dab in the middle of the window. They're see-through, so during the day we're not blocking that beautiful panoramic view. And I'm gonna use our gorgeous wine bottles turned decanters as vases to bring some extra height and impact to the space. I just want this to be a really fun night. I want people to love the decor, have a great time, and most of all, come back.
All right, Victor, come on, don't f this up. I'm here to help this resort out, and I'm here to produce great food. Coming around hot, and that's the only thing that matters. After I sauce, we walk.
So Beck is putting the final touches on the decor, and I have a couple things left to do for our tasting menu here at the Westwind Inn. It's an adults-only resort, so I've gone with some pretty sophisticated dishes. We've got oysters to start, followed by scallops with endives, then braised short rib, and pumpkin custard for dessert. They're all being paired with wines from Kawartha Lakes Winery. It's all about injecting a little city flair into cottage life.
Wow, this is beautiful. It's so warm.
I wanted to use things that I couldn't normally decorate with when there's kids around. So I brought in all of this glass. The wine bottles that we used for these vases were actually from Kawartha Lakes Winery. We grabbed them from there and we took them to Art Tech. It was a whole community project to bring you this dinner tonight. The inspiration for the room was to bring blues and greens from this outdoor experience into the dining room. So putting all of these bright colors and glass together gives you a great sense of fun and a great sense of whimsy.
And the green accents on the windows will let the light shine through, and you also have a view. I think it's super cute. We try to change things up frequently, but I mean, we haven't had this much of a change in a long time.
And I didn't tell you guys, there's a 3,000-pound ice bar outside right now, and Victor's gonna shuck some oysters, and we carved allusion to it that he's gonna pour wine through.
Wow.
I think we need to go take a peek.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's get going.
Hello, sir.
Hi. I hear these are delicious.
I hope so. There's a little apple jalapeno mignonette on there.
Very good, sir.
You like that?
I think people really loved the ice bar. It was a lot of fun, and you know what? It definitely kept the oysters cold. The faster you guys eat all these, the faster I get to go inside.
Hey, so we brought you the sample cup I blew there.
That is incredible.
And they thought it would best be filled with a little bit of whiskey.
There we go. Keep me nice and warm now. I'm not thinking of warming up thoughts. I'm gonna start thinking about being back in your shop.
Yeah, he toughed it out. I couldn't believe he stood out there.
Yeah, my fingers froze watching him.
But the ice carving was great. Bottoms up.
Woo!
All right, Victor, come on. Don't get this up. So we're serving scallop, short rib, and then pumpkin, doing wine pairings with each course.
I was going over the game plan when I realized that there were 7 front of house staff. Poor Brian is in the back of the kitchen by himself with 7 people out there for 30 guests.
Who feels comfortable with plating something with me in here?
So I ended up taking 2 people, Tiffany and Dean, to help us plate.
Let's have some fun tonight, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much. Okay, so guys, the first course, scallop, cauliflower, and endive, okay? That's the first course. We'll worry about the second course next, all right?
When we first sat down with Inga and Jamie, I had a little bit of a rant about the old-fashioned way they plated their meals. You know, zucchini, carrots, Brussels sprouts, peppers, all on the same plate. I designed this menu to show them it's possible to create great dishes only using a couple of ingredients that look impactful on the plate and, more importantly, taste great.
Aaron, get your walks. Let's go. We're ready to go.
We're ready.
As soon as it has sauce, you can walk.
Thank you.
Well, I'm impressed.
Excellent presentation. Certainly a delight to see this here tonight.
My goodness.
My favorite, scallops. They were grilled to perfection. They were nice and rare and plump, and they were huge.
For some reason, I got an empty plate. I don't know why I was
That
served.
was delicious.
Palm puree is ready, chef. Yes, it is. I don't want any palm puree left. I don't want to run out at the same time, okay? So next up, just gonna give me a little dollop like that right there, okay? Next up, short ribs. You're next, mushrooms. Tiff, that's you, right? Okay, you're gonna go like 1, 2, okay? Just like that. Coming around, hot. After I sauce, we walk.
I love short ribs. He does a great job. You know, I like how he cooked the mushrooms. They're like just, they have a nice firm texture to them. I love them.
This has been one of the best meals we've ever had, and we're really pleased with how the wine went with the short ribs. It was fantastic together.
Oh, I think everything is wonderful. Nothing but positive things to say.
Vic is really outdone himself.
That's right. You should do that on your birthday.
Okay, so we'll start over here. And that's what gives it that really intense flavor. So the evening went really well. Dinner service went great. I kind of took away a lot of the front of house staff because they had way too many front of house staff. It wasn't the most beautiful plating I've ever seen in my life, but I think they did really well. Brian was a great help in the kitchen. We had a lot of fun together. I was really happy with it.
Everybody enjoyed it so much, and I'm amazed at how many people said that they had never expected the atmosphere to be that energetic. So it was lovely. It was an adventure from start to finish.